guys, it's Nick from Let's Chat, and in this video today I'm going to review my round 18 footy tips, and I'm also going to do my round 19 footy tips. So let's get underway. So my round 18 footy tips, I got 7 out of 9, and the tips that I got wrong were St Kilda and Adelaide. So I got 7 out of 9 this week. So the first game for round 19 this week will be on Friday. It will be Essendon versus the Western Bulldogs. Both teams were losers last week. They had good starts to the season. Both of their teams have injuries concerns, and their teams are going downhill a little. So it's going to be a hard tip to choose, but I tipped the Bulldogs here to win in a thriller. I'm tipping them to win by 2 points. So the second game is between Richmond and Hawthorn. Both teams were winners last week. Richmond had a gutsy 38-point win over the Eagles, and Hawthorn, they had a comfortable 47-point win over North Melbourne. It makes a difference when James Sicily is in the Hawthorn lineup because he's basically almost their best player. And Richmond, well, they're trying to keep on winning to keep their season alive. So I'm going to tip Richmond here to win by 45 points. So the next game is between Carlton and West Coast. Carlton had a really great upset win over Port Adelaide by 50 points. Yes! Calm the Blues! And West Coast had a 38-point loss against Richmond, which wasn't that bad considering what they've been through the past 2 to 3 years, West Coast. So this should be an easy tip. I'm going to tip Carlton to go for 5 wins in a row. I know might be a bit of a biased tip, but I'm going to tip them to win by 123 points, Carlton. So the next game is between Brisbane and Geelong at the Gabba. Brisbane had a heartbreak loss against Melbourne on the Friday night in a 1-point loss. Brisbane really should have won that, but they let that big lead slip in the last quarter. And Geelong, well, they had an easy win against Essendon at the Cattery by almost 80 points, with Hawkins having a day out, kicking a bag of 5, which he always does against Essendon. He has a good record against the Bombers, and he's doing well with age, Tom Hawkins, so I don't think he'll be slowing down anytime soon, Tom Hawk. But anyways, I'm going to tip Brisbane here to win by 5 points since it's at the Gabba. So the next game is between Fremantle and Sydney at Optus Stadium. Fremantle are coming off a bit of a bad loss against Collingwood. It was expected because Collingwood are the best team in the comp right now. They're on top of that of Collingwood. And Sydney, they had a gutsy 2-point win over the Western Bulldogs in John Longmire's milestone match as coach. So I reckon Sydney are in slightly better form at the moment. So I'm going to tip the Swans to win by 6 points. So the next game is between Port Adelaide and Collingwood, the top 2 teams in the competition right now. Although Port Adelaide had a disappointing 50-point belting against Carlton, so their 13-game winning streak is over. They couldn't win it for the 14th time in a row. And Collingwood, well, they had a comfortable win against the Dockers, so it's going to be a nail-biter, I reckon. It's at Adelaide Oval, but since Collingwood are the better side at the moment, I'm going to tip them to win by a point. So Collingwood to win by a singular point. So the next game is between GWS and Gold Coast. Both teams impressive wins last week. GWS had a great win over the Crows in Adelaide, and Gold Coast had a good decent win over St Kilda. GWS have surprised me this year. They're meant to be a bottom 4 side, but they're really trying, and they're 9th on the ladder right now. So I have to tip GWS here in this match. I reckon they're the better team, and I reckon that they'll win by 26 points. So the next game is between Melbourne and Adelaide. Melbourne, they came from behind from like 26 points or something in the last quarter, and they beaten the Lions by a point in a nail-biter thriller in one of the games of the year. And Adelaide, well, they had a really disappointing loss against GWS at home, so I'm going to tip Melbourne here because they're in better form at the moment, and I'm going to tip them to win by 34 points. So the last game of the weekend is between St Kilda and North Melbourne. Well, St Kilda, after their strong start to the season, we don't know what their season's going to look like at the end of the year after a 4-0 start, and you know, they just always fail every time. Like, they don't deserve my tip this week, but I know they're playing North Melbourne, and yes, I have to tip St Kilda this week against North Melbourne because North Melbourne are second last on the ladder, because North haven't been that great this year after their 2-0 start as well. So I'll be tipping St Kilda in this match. I was going to lean on to North Melbourne, but I'll have to stick with St Kilda, and I'm going to stick to them to win by 47 points. So there you go, guys. There's my tips. Thank you all for watching this video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Catch you later, guys.